Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And today we're talking about Ravel piano music, complete sets, of which there are quite a few, and some of them are marvelous, and there are new ones coming out because this year, 2025, is Ravel's sesquicentennial. Yes, the 150th anniversary of his birth. And for this sesquicentennial year, I think it's a good idea. It's January. It's still January. No, it's February now, isn't it? Well, whatever. We're starting out with some good, firm recommendations for great Ravel that you can compare other Ravel to. So you'll be well situated as the deluge, the heavens open, and the deluge of Ravel stuff shows up, theoretically. At least that's what may happen. And when we're talking about complete sets of Ravel piano music, here it is. And it's cheap if you can still get it. I mean, I don't think you have a problem. I still see it around. It's the complete music for solo piano with Abbey Simon on Vox. I mean, it costs like, $8 or something. I don't know. It should anyway. Here's the thing. Okay. Let me explain something to you. I want to make sure. This is crazy. It's the same. All right, fine. The only trick with this set, which is just wonderful, is that the tracking is a little bit weird. They don't divvy up everything into separate tracks. That is, whole works occupy one track. You get, let me explain this to you. The Vals Noble et Sentimental is one track. The Gaspard de la Nuit is 3, thank God. Miroirs is 5. So that's good too. You get that. But Le Tombeau du Couperin, 23 minutes, one track. It's ridiculous. And the Sonatine is one track. And a couple other things. Are there a couple multi-movement things like that? No, not really. We're okay. But you need to know that. It may irritate the crap out of you, or it may not. It doesn't bother me because I know the works and I just love them. And 23 minutes of the Tombeau du Couperin is easy. Anyway, but be forewarned so that you don't make yourself nuts. This is also downloadable. And now let's talk about the performances, because that's what really matters. Who the hell is Abbey Simon? For those of you who are not so much in the know, Abbey Simon passed away rather recently. He was 99 when he died, and he was born in 1920. So he was, it was like just a few years ago that he passed away, and it's really remarkable. He had a very, shall we say, self-willed career. He wasn't one of those hotshot virtuoso. Well, he was a hotshot virtuoso, but he wasn't one of those who had, this sort of, PR press kind of stuff. He objected to being called a pianist's pianist, but that's really what he was. He had an amazing pedigree. His mentor and teacher was Joseph Hoffman, the great, one of the golden age pianists. He studied with Leopold Godowsky. He became a really important and noted teacher and mentor of many of today's pianists. One of his students was Martha Argerich, for example. I mean, he really was a major talent, even if the major talent didn't have the majorist career. And so, he's not dismissible. He's best known today for the recordings he made for Vox, but he recorded a bit for HMV and EMI, and he recorded for Philips, and these things are not routinely available. The Vox stuff was always available, very inexpensively, and it was really, really good for those of us on a budget looking for stuff. He spent most of his life living in Geneva, actually. He liked playing in Europe, particularly because he felt that in Europe you have permission to fail, whereas you don't in America. That was his view of it, which was really very funny. It was very interesting. But he said seriously, actually, he had a very serious position on it, because he felt that he could explore different repertoire and sometimes play well and sometimes play not, or change his view of it without having to worry about critical reaction. To the same degree as he did in the USA. So he wasn't here all that often. But I met him once when he did a record signing at HMV on 72nd Street. And I was actually working there at the time. And it was sad because he's not the best known guy. And they had stacks of CDs and nobody came. His students showed up to sit down and hang out and keep him company. He was a lovely person and a wonderful, wonderful musician. He's best known these days because of the recent reissue on Vox of his Rachmaninoff piano concertos with Leonard Slatkin and the St. Louis Symphony, which are among the best. I mean, he was a type of virtuoso who well, it was kind of like Marc-Andre Amelin, only for standard repertoire. I mean, that kind of virtuoso. In other words, his technique was something you just took for granted. He had it and he used it and it was wonderful, and it never drew attention to itself just for, flash or whatever. He did most of the Chopin piano music on Vox also, along with the Rachmaninoff and along with this, the complete Ravel piano music. And this is extraordinarily fine. I mean, I was talking to Jed Disler, our piano maven. Watch his podcast, The Piano Maven, about this set and how however great some of the other ones that came out subsequently. These were recorded in 1972 or thereabouts, 74, in that area, the early 70s. And he was in top form. I mean, he was always in top form, actually. But, Jed kept saying, these other ones are great, but you keep coming back to Abbey Simon. And you do, because he is foundationally so rewarding. I mean, especially for Ravel, which is all about precision and clearness and atmosphere and all of those other things. But my gosh, he just hits the right tempos. And Le Tombeau de Couperin is a wonderful example. I mean, it has so much character and so much beauty and articulation, and you just listen to the music and you go, oh, wow, that's just so hot. But just to show what a fire-breathing virtuoso he could be, he also includes the solo version of La Valse here, which is absolutely marvelous and explosive. Gaspard de la Nuit is gorgeous. Scarbo is, nice and evil sounding. It's not just fast and thrown off with all the repeated notes and things, and that it's so difficult. But it has creepiness. It has grotesquerie. It's just amazing. Ondine is wonderful. Le Gibet is like frightening. And he just knows how to do this stuff. The sonatine is the essence of classical purity. I mean, it's wow, baby. I mean, and it's very well recorded, extremely well recorded. It's one of those really terrific recordings. Who was the engineer? Was it Obort and Nikrens who did these, or let me see, I don't know. It doesn't say in the back here, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're looking for a complete set of Ravel piano music, Abbey Simon is your guy as a sort of reference edition. Remember those reference recordings? And also one of the greatest recordings ever. And not the expected choice. I grant you that, but the ear doesn't lie. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.